Wow. We've had some awesome 2 days. I'm Jörgen, by the way, one of the 4 co-founders of this event. We're all very proud of what we have accomplished over these 2 days to give our view and our speakers' view of consciousness from very many angles. And I hope that all of you have found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 speakers that you really could relate to. And I know you're all fried by now, but we've saved something extraordinary. So you should be happy you stayed. Some of us have left, that's their loss. For the first time on stage in Europe, Dhyan Vimal will sit here soon. He attained his enlightenment in '94, but for the first 10 years he decided not to tell anyone because it was his, and he's living that out, and he decided to keep it within himself. But luckily for me and for all of you, he decided to change that. And now he works out of Kuala Lumpur, where he sits at his center, teaches every day, pretty much 365 days a year. He's also the founder of Friends to Mankind, which is an international non-profit organization creating projects towards the betterment of humanity. And for me, it's an incredible honor because he is a very dear friend of mine, and it's a human being that I truly love, even if it's a man. Right? So, for you tonight, Dhyan Vimal.
I heard a little bit of the past speaker, so don't expect any mountain climbing tips from me. Nor am I as athletic as he is. But I will tell you what I heard. What I heard is a man who's living. Maybe that's what I'm here to speak to you today, because that's what really enlightenment is. One of the strangest things that has happened to humanity is that we have become problem solvers. Our consciousness has been driven the last 5,000 years to celebrate he who solves problem, and in that inevitably we have made problem our lives. From birth till death, problem is the only thing that obsesses. And now, thanks to the media, we have all kinds of problems. I can't sleep at peace at night. I'm worried about global warming. I'm worried about Sweden getting more ice. I'm not denying problem, but I'm saying the existence of problem is the absence of living. Problems helps me to escape my living. We have not embraced living fully. What is to be alive? What is to live? What is to live so extraordinarily that that very life is a blessing? I'm sure most of you know of this word that comes from the East, which is called dharma. Dharma is not a problem solving, it is a rightness. And when rightness is lived, things don't appear as problems. So I don't see problems in the world. I see a demand for living. So the question maybe I pose to you is, how deeply are you living, sir? Not in the idea of what people told us living, but in our day-to-day life as we live. As I exist as a father, as a husband, as an employee, as a man with task, how do I live? You see, a little trick that has been learned by humanity, which is to escape living, because living can be rather painful by definition. If you fall in love, it can be very painful. You are never hurt by somebody you don't like. Sir? One of the message I bring for you, if at all there is a message, is that in you, in exactly as how you are, encountering where you are, is your living, and that living is what is needed for humanity. Sir? Do we dare? You must understand, for 5,000 years, from my research or my study has shown, we have celebrated people who solve problems, and most often, the importance of a person depends on the size of the problem, and I've seen people exaggerate problems just to simply exaggerate their importance. Make sense? I was in another continent, I don't want to mention the name of the continent, and there was a very strange man with a funny haircut saying that the country will be great again. And I was thinking, what are you talking about? When was it great? When was it great? These are the politicians' talk. You understand, sir? I stand true to this statement. My contribution to life is me living my life exactly where I find it. I come from a poor country, but there's so much of other issues. Living that is my living. I was talking to Mr. Tobian, I think, the other day. We were talking something about cooperation and conscious living, and it took me a few days to think about it. If I'm sitting like this, it's just I'm cold, you know. I'm not used to your weather. When somebody shows up to a work, to job, he's going there to earn an income, a living, to get promoted, some idea. But wonderful. But what is missing is that work itself is his living. You understand, sir? Why relationship fails is it's a solution to a problem. Somebody feels lonely, they get into a relationship. They think they solved the problem. No, it becomes a bigger problem. I will always tell people the test of your marriage is when your wife or your husband leave town. If an uncontrollable smile happens to you, that reveals much about you. You see, sir, I was listening to one of the speakers the other day on the tube about some economical policies, and there's so much complexity that has been created in the world that a lot of us are drowning. You must have PhDs to understand some of these things. But I say to you, life is not a problem. It is how you are trained to look at it to avoid you. And why did people buy into it? Is because it is a good way to escape. Life is an invitation. Your suffering is the absence of you undertaking the invitation life has given you. The question I place to you, how deeply do you embrace living? To embrace living, you must embrace death. Death is the death of the idea of me, who I am, what I've been, the formation of my own idea that I take rather comfort in, isn't it? Living challenges you. incredibly. Now I see many embracing the culture I come from in the name of enlightenment. In the notion they are looking for some inner peace, or this idea of enlightenment that has been highly exaggerated, that has been sold around the world. But all I keep seeing is people who want to escape life in general. I would have not accepted the invitation if it was not an invitation by my beloved Jürgen, because he didn't escape life. He accepted life. He lives his life. And only to that person who lives his life exactly where he is, if at all there is a truth to this word enlightenment, will flower. So now, where you are is where your enlightenment is, and in your enlightenment is your greatest contribution to the next step of evolution. Because someone did not choose to evolve, he made it a problem, and that problem is passed on to everybody else. The other day I was talking to somebody, he said, plastic is a big problem. And I said, what are you telling me? What do you think I'm going to do? Stop producing plastic. I guess that's a simple idea. But they will make very complex out of it. They have to go lobby, they have to go to the parliament. No, plastic no good. Stop manufacturing it. Isn't it? I think it's I don't see the difficulty. But they will make it a problem. And the person who makes it a problem becomes an authority over the problem. And he makes a great career out of the problem, and he will never attempt to solve it. Have you seen a man is not seen to the level he lives, he's seen to the solution he brings to a problem. Thus, there is an inherent interest in keeping a problem. Like in my country where I come from, they talk about racism. No, only the politicians are talking about it. We guys are okay. We don't have a problem, After some time, we become colorblind. Like if you see a beautiful girl, it doesn't matter whether she's... We are only colorblind. Now, at least I am. Together, sir. Maybe I'm here to tell you there is no solution to living but the capacity to die. Die not physical death, to allow the idea that is imposed onto me as me to dissolve, to remain open. So I can embrace my life. I don't make something good or bad. I hug it. I love it. I have not come here to tell you anything. I'm at most here celebrating you, if that can be understood. And something happens when you celebrate. Something miraculous happens. An energy explodes in you, and that very energy creates. It holds the balance of humanity. You must understand, it has been 5,000 years, systematically it was done. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I suspect it was manufactured. Just to create impossible problems that you cannot solve, you have to give it away to someone. I have no problems in my life. Don't bring my mother-in-law into the picture. That's an unsolvable problem. It's just impossible. There is a concept of karma too. When she watches this, you're going to like it. I told her I'll make you world famous. I just have the reluctant to live, sir. To live is to love, not just the blonde. To live means, to love means that I allow myself to live what is there as me unblocking myself, allowing it to flow freely. In the East, we have a concept. Love means death. And for those who are married, you would know that for a fact. If she doesn't attempt to kill you, she does not love you. So, if she doesn't bring you to a point to kill yourself, your love is no good. Find somebody else. If she's doing that, wonderful. I'm here to speak to you about love. I'm speaking to the corporate people about love. It's not just a goal, Yes, the goal is important. The money is important. All of it is important, but every day I live my love. And how do I live? It's exactly how I prepared for this talk. I did nothing. I walked in and almost got it. What did I supposed to speak today? I just came to meet you. Do I have a solution for you? None. Yes, enlightenment, something in that, I don't like to speak about it, happened to me. It happened not because I did something. I didn't meditate or all that stuff, I didn't do nothing. It happened because I dared to live. I think the gentleman earlier set it up for me very beautifully. Bravo to him. That's how he lives. He needs to go to the North Pole. You understand? I come Stockholm, it feels like North Pole. Did we forget to laugh? Sorry, sir? Yes, you're a kind gentleman. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. It's a good decision coming here. I haven't spoken publicly in so many years for the reason most often people try to monetize what I do. They try to figure out a way, how can I exploit others? I'm not. I want to hold you so you live. You understand? More than an enlightened man, a master, I speak as a father. I've come to you to speak as a father so the world would be in a saner place. That when I go with peace. It is not about personal success. There's no such thing. I've seen enough successful people who are ready to put a bullet in their head. That's one of the reasons why some countries should not abandon their guns. I'm kidding. No, if they have an impulse, why not? Because they seem to create problems that do not exist. You see, within us, I've discovered, there is an energy. This is when I get a little mystical with you. Just tolerate me. There is an energy in you that is as you. When you allow it to wake up, it becomes a benediction to all. Man's pain is that is not awoken. Man's search for love is that. Now, that has to be brought into every aspect of our life. He is not only showing up to make $1 million, he is also going to live in that process. When you look back at your albums, you take the pictures of the days you lived. But it should be an everyday picture. How have you postponed living? How have you postponed being you? How have you postponed embracing whatever that is there? Being poor is not a problem. It's not a problem. It's an invitation for living. But you embrace that. To me, that is wisdom. You see, intelligence can be exploited. Wisdom is the ancient truth that holds living, holds life. In the East, from where I come from, we call it dharma, rightness. That it holds right everybody. There are powerful forces that would like to convert us just to problem solvers. They would rob your life of, sir. I don't know what age you retire, by 65, you retire. And you would have missed an entire life living. I am here to remind, let us celebrate our lives wherever we are without an idea. There is neither material nor spiritual. This is an idiotic separation. Somebody is spiritual and somebody is not. I don't understand that. What are you talking about? I meditate. He doesn't. What is that? You sit silently without getting paid. And that fella goes to the office, pretend to work, sit there too, but he gets paid. He's in a better state than you are. You understand? There is no such thing. It's just a mental demarcation to create a problem. I'm not here saying you being unenlightened is a problem. I have a very beautiful mantra, but I cannot give it to you right here. You have to see me personally for that. That will cure you. You celebrate your unenlightenment. That's what the whole point is to be included into living. Is your day-to-day a deep celebration? Because there is such wonder in you. Within you, there is the awakening for the next evolution of mankind. Where peace is not an idea, peace is not achieved through weapons, peace is a natural state. So as a generation, we are at the point. We are the next leap if we live it. If you have ever been to a forest, and if you sit silently watching the forest, they are not solving a problem. They are alive, living. It almost appears they are singing. They are celebrating. And I know deep in your heart that is what you seek. But they have said only when you have this much money or when you achieve that, that is allowed for you. As we sit together today, what do we embrace? Do we embrace the solution for living, which is escape? Or do we embrace every bit of life? I tell you the beauty I've found in Stockholm. I've spoken to some people here. I've never seen another country, another group of people with deeper integrity than here. They're honest people. Maybe this is a good place for this to start. That life is an excuse to live. It's an excuse to live. To love is an excuse to live. To participate, we have been told to postpone. And there is a problem in between. Only when you solve the problem, you live. And the mind that is dedicated to only solving problem becomes a very primal mind. It cannot see anything around. It only sees the solution. It projects itself. In that, it misses itself. I have not done anything else than just live madly every day in everything that rises as my life and my living. What is enlightenment? The capacity to live undisturbed. The capacity to embrace everything. Like many of you might sit here with many ideas and many problems. Now turn it and look at it as living. It is life inviting you, seeing you worthy to live it out. It is your invitation by life. As a humanity, have we come to this? No, we feed our children's head with all kinds of problems. And we give them many solutions. And many of them sincerely follow the solution. And at the end of the solution, they see a life unlived, such emptiness. As we sit together today, sir, what do we embrace? What do you embrace? Because that which you are is a love waiting to be lived. And that love would be lived as anything. You may create something. You may give birth to something. We must rise as a humanity that is creating, living. And that energy has a magical property to it. It holds everybody. It holds a well-being. You see, when there is a problem, we separate from each other. We are not friendly. Everyone's living is a benediction to someone unknown to us. When that energy is awake, I've seen corporations, companies, when that energy is alive, magical things happen. They don't hit the goal, they go beyond. Things happen they never thought is possible. There is no more box. It's like a festival. It's like an incredible festival. And some of the most beautiful things that are birthed through that. We have missed our magic. We have been reduced to logic. I am not saying logic is not needed, but logic must not kill magic. There is a magic in being you and me, sir. And that is the magic that is needed. I pose another question to you. How deeply do you live in your magic? When you recognize your magic, in the East we call it your yogam. Your yogam is that which is union as you, living out as you. It's not what you do, it is you. Right, sir? You must see there are people, anything they touch, they discover. They make something more out of it. There are people who have such a gift, even the working door stops working. I would like, if you like, to pay attention to you in recognizing the magic as you. What is the magic of you, sir? If you love anybody, you will never love the logic, you will love the magic. Love is the only place, interpersonal love is the only place that magic is. You don't know what happens. Something happened between both of you. And usually logic will mess it up. Usually. That's why I tell couple, don't argue. If you can, don't talk. Because you mess it up when you talk. If you keep quiet, there was magic. You understand? Don't talk. Because she might ask, do you understand me? And you'll pretend to say yes. What is the magic of being you? Is there a magic? That has been removed from our consciousness, you understand? All that you see as you is just a problem you can solve, which is what you think you can do. You are not just your action. You are that which acts. So the sight over you is missed, sir. You understand, sir? As you are, there is an alchemy. I've read about the invention of Edison. He has got so many inventions. We don't know what to credit him for. But I guess it's just him, being him, isn't it? The faith over you has been removed. Thus we start developing skills alone and thinking that is me. You follow, sir? You follow? We have been misdirected. The most amazing part is you. And when that is awakened, and it only awakens by living, there's no technique to awaken it. By your life, where you are placed, the challenges you meet, the condition you are placed into. Then this comes together with another, and when these two elements meet, something happens. I truly believe, I'm not sure whether I'm expressing it clearly, that is what is going to bring the leap for humanity, not our problem-solving capacity. Like the search for happiness is an idiotic nonsense because the idea of happiness was birthed by a problem that was created and sold to you, then you start becoming unhappy. Actually, you are not unhappy. Somebody taught you how to be unhappy. And then they wanted to sell you a Mercedes. You see, I didn't say Volvo. It's built in Sweden, right? Volvo is the solution, not Mercedes. It's the neighboring country. No, I like Mercedes. So you are not really sad. Like somebody's alone. What's wrong with being alone? Somebody said you should not be alone. Now there's a problem, right? The solution is someone blonde. And then that solution doesn't come, right? You suddenly are sad. For a fact, you are just alone. This is the trickery that has been happening for over 5,000 years. And in this end, you are missed, sir. That is the point I'm trying to emphasize. I'm saying you are so amazing. I think there is such a thing in you that is unprecedented. And it's a mystery. It can only happen through living. And now, what is living? Where you are. When there is no idea, when there is no mind, other than escaping where you are. Like I used to joke with Jorgen and a few people, how did people started living in Sweden? They came here and they said, it's minus 15, wonderful, let's stay. Like I used to wonder if they continue walking, they could have gone to Spain, I think it's a warmer place, right? But they said, no, minus 15, perfectly, toasty, I'll stay here. Right now we look at, wow, they would have suffered, it would have been cold, it would have been this. No, they were living. The gentleman earlier chooses to go to cold places. He chooses and he goes to cold places, you know. I didn't hear his entire lecture, but I heard some of the slides, and he's going to really cold places. I think there's no other place colder than that. But what is happening to him? He's living. Right, sir? It's how I look at it. Just a few months ago, I had I started a project called Project Dignity under Friends to Mankind, which is to help people gain skill. Somehow it happened I had to ended up directing the movie. I've never done it before. Know quite a bit about filming, but I haven't directed. All I can remember now, wow, how alive I was. How much fun it was. You understand? The outcome of the movie is the outcome. But I lived. It was a celebration. The question now, what is that has been put into us that make us postpone our celebration? Like this gathering is a celebration. It's a celebration of wisdom, listening to many speakers, imparting years of what they have gone through. It's a celebration of what can be, sir. Not a solving of a problem. You must understand, man needed to create significance for himself and he didn't know how. So he created a problem. And then he pretended to solve it, and he became quite a bit. I have seen politicians speak, I don't know here, but back home, they are uncanny ability of creating problems that doesn't exist. It's like a joke I've heard, I hope it's not off. Jorgen is looking at me. He said they were curing someone for having jaundice. After 30 years, they discovered he was Chinese. And the best joke is they cured him. Am I worried about global warming? Not really. Should get warmer a bit here. Am I worried about the terrorists? Not really. I'm not worried. I'm living my life. And the way I live my life is the transcendence of it. You understand that, sir? I refuse to be afraid. I commit to face my reality, my life. And in that, I know I am a benediction. As how I invite all of you to take a peek at that. Because through you, so much is to happen. So much living must happen. I have a suspicion there is nowhere on earth there is the source of love. Nowhere. It seems to be only through us, through whatever that is alive. Maybe that's our greatest contribution, isn't it? What has prevented us? It is easier. There's a joke I've heard from Osho that I repeat often, which is worth repeating 1,000,000 times. Say there was a man named Mullah Nasruddin who lost his key at night. He was out on the porch looking for it. Friend came along and started helping him out. And after some time, the friend asked, "Where did you lose the key, Mullah?" Mullah said, "In the house." Then he asked him, "What are you doing outside?" "It's brighter." Like on a personal level, people have made women a problem, they've made men a problem. There's so much problem between men and women. There's no problem. They are just better. Women are just better. They were the next model. You understand? If you follow the Bible, they took our ribs and made them. And our ribs have never settled ever since. You understand? There's no problem. Problems are needed for the mind to claim importance. That is the way of the ego. If at all I have something to tell you today, something I can offer you. I can offer you an invitation to living and to look upon your life to see what is your life provoking you to live. And I'm saying it is right here. That is the first thing must hit home. Many seek it in the Himalayas, many seek it in many places. Nice place to visit, but it's not there. It's right here. Your fulfillment is not out there. It's right here. Will you believe that? Absolutely see that. Then this mind doesn't wobble. It doesn't go to anything. It keeps looking here. With everything it meets, it see, what is my opportunity to live, to love? What is my opportunity to explode? And I do it for a selfish reason, because I want to live. I'm not doing it for you, so there's no need for thank you. I'm doing it. Like I and my wife just dropped our last child off to go to university, so she's unemployed. And I'm going to get exclusive attention of her full time on me. I'm wondering how I'm going to survive that. You understand? And when I look back, being with the kids, what it was, wow, what a ride, what a party, what a joy, what a participation, what an opportunity to love, what an opportunity to die as a man and to be birthed as a dad. You understand? Where my very, very physical demand for survival I put aside and I'll die for that child. And what an attainment that is. As someone who speaks on enlightenment, I say your enlightenment is right here. That's a good omen. We Easterners are big on omen. Your enlightenment is right here now. Which means your fulfillment is right here now. I can see a mother there with a baby listening. That's how it is. That fulfillment is right there. Can you see that, sir? And through that fulfillment, you will give birth to more fulfillment, not problems. Fulfillment gives birth to fulfillment, gives birth to fulfillment, not more problems. I bought one iPhone, now I have a problem. There's some other iPhone. My iPhone not that good. And that seems to be a problem, you understand? It's not a bad thing. iPhone is not a bad thing. But it's not a problem. It might be odd, but can I invite you? It's not mine to invite, but I'm just saying it. Can I invite you to love? Without an idea in your life. Like we do some, whatever they call charity work or what. Actually, I think we are lying. We just have such a great time. Yes, we raise money, we do some stuff, but that's secondary. We had such a good time, we feel guilty. We are rocking it. We are having such fun. You see, like the other day when I spoke, I said, seriousness is an illness. And the whole world is serious. I was in America. They are so serious. It's like everything is a serious problem. Aging is a problem. You understand? There are many surprised-looking people over there. They have not aged. Like they look at me, they're like surprised. I'm like, did I do something? Aging is a problem. Aging is the most beautiful thing on earth, sir. When I sit down and I don't know whether I can stand up, one of the most wonderful things that can happen to you. Really. It makes you look within. The body is leaving you. It's a wonderful thing. But we have made that a problem. Can you see, growing old is a problem. At one time it was a pride because the older person has wisdom. The younger person has hormones. The older is wise. I love this topic that he has put up, Wisdom Stockholm. Wisdom is love lived that holds all in its intelligence. To me, that's the best definition of wisdom. Love lived, holding all. Not as an action, but as a consequence of right living. Now, have you made an agreement to go mad in living? Yes. I hope so. Because in that, the humanity depends. I don't mean to burden you with this. In our celebration, the wellness of all depends. In my joy, I hold the right evolution of humanity. And I recognize problems are nothing but the failure for me to live what I'm supposed to live out as me. And life has no goal, it's present. When this moment is enough unto itself, I'm living. Wars are nothing but man's unconscious intent to rip down what he unconsciously created as a mind that traps him. Wars are absolutely unnecessary if we are living. Maybe as I sit with you today, I'm extending the invitation that has been extended to me by my gurus, my masters, that we live our lives in such deep ecstasy, such deep centeredness, that that very living is the solution. Is there problems, sir? I'm sure there are. But my living is far bigger than the problem. Do I have a problem with my wife? Of course, if you want to make it a problem. She likes things I can never understand. They like bags. You understand? They like bags, they like clothes. I like them without clothes, without bags. You understand? I can get to work. You understand? I kind of think they are mad. But what's the problem? What's the problem? She doesn't have to agree with me on anything. I love like a fool. I'm willing to make a fool out of myself. I live very vulnerably, truthfully. And I live there. I meet what I meet. Like this Friends to Mankind was something I met. I was in India and I saw somebody starving. I went back home, it hit me so hard. 3 years I started fasting. I just ate one meal and almost created diabetic for myself. Because I said, I have to do something. It hit me. It was my life. It's not I'm doing something for humanity. It happened to me. I couldn't walk away. And then Friends to Mankind was born as a response. Now I celebrate that challenge all over the world. I am not doing it alone, sir. I'm not the leader. I'm inviting everybody to do it. In this short time that I have, I'm so grateful to Jorgen. I'm here because of him, because of his integrity. It was pleasant to meet Tubian. Did I pronounce you rightly, Tubian? I think I've been rehearsing. You guys have strange names. I dare not pronounce. It took me 6 months, Jorgen, and I still think I'm messing it up. You know. So when my Western students come to meet me, I give them a Hindu name. It's easier for me. Kumar, easy. I can remember that name. I hope you take this celebration back home. I think the last 2 days has been that celebration of your humanity. Celebration of waking human being up to live themselves out absolutely. Never to back out, sir. And you can never back out if you are always ready for the self to die. There is no defense against the self. You're absolutely willing to transform to any form to meet life as you meet it. I think with that, we have a fighting chance. We have a possibility that our children will inherit something far more saner than what we have. Because most of us here are children or grandchildren of some war victim. And that is how it has been for 5,000 years, because in 5,000 years we have fought 10,000 wars. My insight is, if you rise to living, which is living your love out, life comes right. In the name of my masters, I thank you.